Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Priyanka and I help you unleash the power of law of attraction and create the life that you want. So today I would talk about 5 basic but most important life lessons that I have learned in my life, and I wish that I had known it earlier, when I was in my teens or in my early 20s, and how it has affected me or how it has changed my life. You all would know, because I share always with all of you, that I started practicing the law of attraction at least 2 to 3 years back now, and how it has affected my life, and now how it has changed my life, and how it has made me so much better, and got me driven and made me get all the clarity in life. And during this last 3 years of my journey with law of attraction, it was only the way, or the journey was always to find my own self. Because sometimes we are so lost within proving ourselves to others, or trying to live up to someone else's expectation, or what our family thinks, what our friends thinks, what we are expected to do, that we sometimes forget that it's all about you, right? It is your life, and it is your journey with your life, and it's very important to realize who you yourself are. And law of attraction always says that you attract in your life what you believe yourself to be. So that deep faith, that deep belief which is there in your subconscious mind, which you probably may not even be aware of, is actually what is creating your life. So your life is actually a journey, and there has been 5 most important things that I have learned in my transformation period, because it has not, transforming something is not easy. Imagine doing something from the last for 20 years or 30 years of your life, and then suddenly one fine day you wake up and you realize that this is not what you want, and you have to put that effort to change that 30 years of your habit to get into that zone of creating that new version of yourself which you want. And I wish I had known these things earlier in my life, and I wish if I had the chance to go back and say something to my teenage self or my younger version, I would probably give these 5 most important life lessons that I have learned, and that has drastically changed and transformed my life. So first would be that do not ever think about what anyone else wants or what anyone else feels. If you think and if you believe that you can do something, you definitely can do it. Do not ever let anybody tell you if you are capable of doing something or not. Because most of the time people give suggestions or whatever feedback they give you from their life experience. So what I'm standing here and talking about is my own life experience. It may resonate, it may not resonate with all of you. So if I can stand here and say that if you believe in yourself and you think that you can do something, yes, you can do it, because I have done it in my life. I have believed in myself, and then I have transformed, and that has changed. So most of the time, when people say that you cannot do something or you can do something, is basically they are talking from their own perspective. It has got nothing to do with you. So most important thing to realize or understand is, don't take anything personally. You can go and take advice of people, you can go and take suggestion, but always listen to your heart, because that is always telling you what you are capable of. So if you believe you can do something, yes, you can, and go after your dreams. Do not limit yourself. Second most important thing that I have learned in my life is you need to set boundaries with people. And that is one of the most important life lessons that I have learned. That may be your family, that may be your friends, that may be your husband, your wife, your children, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your partner, whoever that is. You should always keep a boundary which no one is allowed to cross. Always remember this, and this has been the biggest lesson of my life, that people are going to push your boundaries, and they are going to treat you the way you allow them to treat you. And that starts by treating yourself right. Because when I was in a relationship, and it was a very, very, not a pleasant relationship, and I realized that it was not the other person's fault, because when he was being, let's say, unpleasant to me. It was because I was allowing. When somebody shouts at you and you accept it, it's because you are allowing that person to cross that line. So make sure that you draw your boundaries and you are very clear about what is allowed and what is not allowed. Because every time when you let someone push your boundaries, the other person is always going to try pushing the boundaries more and more and more. And let me tell you, this is how, I have seen people that who become, who are physical or who become violent in relationships. They do not start it at very first day. They gradually try, pushing the boundaries. Sometimes they will start by raising their voice, and then they will see if that person is allowing. Once that is allowed, they will probably raise their hands. Then gradually the process starts, because every time you are allowing that person to keep pushing those boundaries. So it's very, very, very important in your life to realize that there are certain boundaries which nobody, and I really mean nobody in life, is worth it, and nobody in your life should cross it. So make sure that you have very, very, very clarity about that boundary with every single person. And let me tell you, people who do this in the name of love, it is really not love. It is a lack of love. Because when there is love, there is respect, there is trust, there is faith, there is beautiful feelings. There is not anything which is violent, which is negative, which is anxiety. It has no place for these. So please, it's my earnest request to all of you, because I have done this in my life and I have faced the music. So do not let anybody treat you badly in the name of love. Do not let anybody, get on top of you and shout at you in the name that I care for you, so I'm doing it. No, that is really not care. That is showing that you have power or that you want to be in control. And love is not control. So please, it's my request to all the people out there, understand and realize the difference between love and something which comes from a place of control. Now, the third most important thing which I have learned in my life is that always keep believing in yourself. Try understanding who you are at every stage of life. Always try to go within yourself and try looking for answers. Instead of going outside of yourself and trying to find the answers of why somebody is not treating me this way, or why this has happened, why that happened, that doesn't work. You need to find that inner peace and happiness within yourself. Because, there were times in my life where something would go wrong and I would lose my mind. And I'm telling you again, it's been from experience. That has been work or anything. And there are always going to be moments like this in your life when, things will not happen or things will not go the way you want them to. But if you keep losing yourself in the midst of everything, then that just doesn't allow you to be happy. Your happiness is not anyone else's responsibility. Everyone else is going to do whatever they feel like doing. You do not have control on that. But the only thing that you have control on is the way you allow them to, or you allow yourself to, feel or be a part of that. Now, fourth most important thing again is failures are constant. Do not ever in your life be afraid or be scared to fail. Do not even bring that thought that what happens if I do not, if I fail in something that I'm doing. If you're not failing, you are not learning. If I wouldn't have gone through all those things in my life, I wouldn't have got this knowledge today that I'm sharing with all of you. And I'm glad, no matter how traumatic and how horrible those experiences might have been for me, but today I'm grateful because those helped me become the person that I am today and be this version of myself where I can stand here and tell you from my own experience that failures are constant. And just because you're scared of failures, you shouldn't have to stop trying to do something, right? Failures just means that this thing has not worked in this particular way, but it doesn't mean that it is not going to work out. Failures, as I always say, are redirections in life. Always make sure that even if you're failing And you will fail. Let me tell you, failures are constant, and it is the biggest truth of life, because you are going to fail in life. At some point or the other, we all do. I do not succeed in everything I do, right? It's not possible. We are human, and we are going to get some things and we are not going to get some things. So that doesn't mean that you are a failure. Do not ever define yourself by your failures, and do not ever stop trying because you have failed. Now, fifth most important thing, which is related to the topic of failure, is just because if you have failed at something, do not criticize yourself. Please, please, please do not criticize yourself on the fact that you have failed at something, or failed at a relationship, or failed in something, anything. If you have failed, you have not lived up to your own expectation, do not ever criticize yourself. Because failures, as I said, are constant, but failures do not define you. If you had a failed relationship, that doesn't mean you are a bad person. What matters is how you get up after that failure, how you pull yourself up after that failure, and how you become, a better version of yourself. That is what determines you. If you have failed, or if you have passed with flying colors, that doesn't determine you. What determines is what do you do after that incident, or after that situation has passed from your life. Because as I always say, life is a choice. Everything that you choose at this very moment is going to create your tomorrow. So if you sit with your failure and you crib and you criticize yourself, that is what you're choosing. It's something that you are choosing. Do not choose that. Choose to learn from that situation, and choose to think and find out ways of how you can make yourself much more better. That is something which is going to determine you. So do not ever determine yourself based on your failures. Your failures do not define you. But if you keep repeating the same mistake again and again and again, then that's a pattern for you to know that you need to break it. Because there was a time, as I have mentioned in my earlier videos as well, there was a time in my life when I kept attracting similar kind of people, who were not loyal, who were not good, who were let's say, who were not the kind of people I want in my life. I realized that why was I attracting, or why was I repeating the same thing again and again, and it continued for years in my life. It was only when I realized that it was me who was kind of, giving out that vibration, because every time something bad happened, I blamed the other person. I did not think that, why am I allowing it? The moment I changed that question, the moment I flipped that question and I said that, wait a minute, I do not deserve this. And so from today onwards, I stop it. The moment I decided that, everything started changing in my life. So do not ever determine yourself by your failures. Because when somebody criticizes you, when somebody does anything to you, if somebody is good to you, it's basically a reflection of who they themselves are. It has got nothing to do with you. A person who is a good human being will always treat others as equal and as good. But a person who is not a good human being, they will always criticize others. They will always, make the other person look bad, because that is who they are. So it has got nothing to do with you. It has got everything to do with the other person. Every time the way I perceive and I see the world is a reflection of what I think about myself. If I am talking about all these things, because I have experienced it and I have felt that about myself. So it has always nothing to do with you. So learn to, differentiate that thing, that failures do not determine you. What determines you is that how you get up after you have failed at something, and then pull yourself up and work towards yourself and make yourself a better version. So guys, I hope you do like this video. If you do like it, give it a thumbs up. Please, it's a request, share it with all your social media channels, all your friends, because that is how I am going to grow, and that is how my videos can reach, millions and millions of people. So please, it's a request. Please do share my video on all your social media channels, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new, and do press the bell icon so that every time I make a video, you get a notification. I will see you all soon with another video. Till then, bye bye.